Good evening and welcome to the West Ham Network Extra. I am Alex and I've had a bit of a nightmare, but I'm here now. And we're going to be talking the West Ham game on Saturday. Premier League season finally kicking back off, and we're going to be talking with an Aston Villa fan who, Aston Villa have had a decent window just like us, been very, very busy and with big changes going on at both clubs, so there's definitely a lot to talk about. And yeah, this is the little chat that we're going to do. And this is going to be a weekly show, hopefully, where I will be talking to an opposition fan every single week and just kind of getting their opinions on West Ham, on the game, and what's going on with them as well. Anyway, I am going to be introducing Joe. Joe, how you doing, mate?
Yeah, good. Thanks, Alex. Cheers for having me on. I know it's your first opposition preview, so yeah, honoured to be the first one. Claret and blue, with a claret and blue.
Yeah.
So
Both claret and blue. I'm liking the Aston Villa top. I don't know if it's because it's the claret and blue. I'm just kind of favourable to it. I always have been.
We'll always kind of like each other. I think yours is. I think you've had some nice kits this season. Actually, I've been following some of your videos. I think your kits look smart. I know you're not too keen on the third one.
No,
I'm
no.
Home one are really smart.
Have you released your third one yet?
No, we haven't actually officially released our away one yet. So as it stands, we'll be wearing this against you on Saturday, but that's coming out tomorrow. So
it's coming out tomorrow.
It's been dead late because we had Adidas come in quite late, cancelled the deal with Castor, so it's all been like late. But it always is with Villa for some reason. But yeah.
Okay, well that's good, yeah, because I like to do the ratings of the kits, and I tried to do the away one, and I kind of put the Villa one up, and I said I don't know if this is it or not. If it is, I can't remember what I said. I thought I said it was quite nice, but still not sure. I was waiting to do the third kits, but no third kits out yet.
No, not all of them.
No, but you're right. I'm not a massive fan of our third kit. I think the away one looks nice, but I really like this one.
That one's really smart, definitely.
Yeah, I do really like it. Anyway, well, it's been a busy transfer window, hasn't it? A lot of changes going on, both for us and for yourself as well, haven't you? I mean, you've had a couple of players like leave, but you have brought in a lot of players as well. It's a bit of a big change. Are you expecting a lot of these signings to be first teamers? Because you've got a few in there that some younger players. And I just have a look at. Ross Barkley did brilliant at Luton last season, and I thought Ian Maatson was a really good signing for you. I do like him. I thought he done well at Dortmund, and I wanted him at West Ham a season ago. So yeah, you definitely have had some decent signings, and obviously losing Diaby, going off to Saudi Arabia, and I feel like Douglas Luiz is going to be a big miss for you, because I thought he was phenomenal for you last season. Yeah, so how do you feel about your transfer window? Has it been for you? How do you feel with your signings?
Yeah, I mean, obviously starting off, we knew we were going to have to meet that PSR deadline. We had to make 50 million by the end of June or July, whatever it was. And I think we all knew coming into the end of the season that man was going to be Douglas Luiz. We've got some good assets we can sell on. Unfortunately, we didn't want to lose him. I think we knew it was always going to be the case, unfortunately. And he was a great player for us. He'd really come on. He'd been there 5 years or so. But without Kamara, he struggled. And the second half of last season, he did struggle. And towards the back end of the year especially, without Kamara, he was half the player. But we wish him well going to Juventus. It's a good move for him. I think it worked all round. Obviously, we've got Amadou Onana in as the replacement, but he's not really a similar player. He's quite a different player.
He is, isn't he? That was going to be my next question. Do you see Onana as the replacement? I mean, he's been at Everton for the last 2 seasons, and I feel like he's done okay, but he is highly rated. And so I'm pretty sure that he will be able to do a job for you, especially under your manager. I thought has done a great job. So yeah, I feel like he will. But do you see him as a replacement, or is there another player that you feel that's going to be able to fit into that role?
I think it's easy to say he will be the replacement, and to some aspect he will be. He's just a very different player, but I do think it's what we needed. Towards the back end of last season, we ran out of steam, really. Obviously, with the Conference League, Olympiacos, they run us ragged at Villa Park in midfield, which no one saw coming. And I think with the likes of Onana in midfield, That won't be the case. And Dougie had a mare in that game. He gave away a penalty. He missed the penalty, which that's 2 goals. And we went, if we'd have, conceding 4. As you know, you've been in Europe the last 3 seasons or more. If you concede 4 at home, you're done. You're done. So we need more midfield, and we've got it. We've got Ross Barkley in. We've got Onana. There was obviously a bit of a swap deal with Juventus, so we've got Enzo Baranachea.
Yeah,
Samuel Jr. So
he was someone that West Ham were linked with a couple. Actually, there's a few players on this list I've seen West Ham linked with. Samuel Wing Jr., Philogene, we were linked with until it turned out that you had like a buyback clause for him. Ian Matson as well, and Onana, we were linked with him before he went to Everton as well. So there's quite a few players there that we've been linked to. So I mean, you had obviously a fantastic season last season, and we did have a couple of games. We went to Villa Park and you smashed us absolutely 4-1. It was terrible. Not the only smashing we had last year, but we got humiliated quite a few times. Conceded so many goals it was, but it was a much more tighter affair at the London Stadium, 1-1. And I mean that tends to be a close game at the London Stadium. I mean, I've had a look back at the results, so we've had 3 1-1 draws, and the other 2 at the London Stadium we've just won 2-1. So it's always been a tight game. And I don't know. I think it's something like it's been a while since you've beaten us at home, but obviously things change and what's gone on in the past never really matter. But do you see it being a similar kind of tight game on Saturday?
Yeah, I think so. And when I seen West Ham come out as the first game of the season, there was a sigh there because it's always a tough game for us. We've never won at the Olympic Stadium since we've been promoted. Our record against you is pretty horrendous. I think we've won 1 in 12. So West Ham's always a tough game. Obviously, you take out that game at Villa Park. We were in our pomp then. We were flying. We were beating everyone at Villa Park. So
you weren't
the only one. But at the London Stadium, it's always tough. We've been there a couple of times under Unai, and we've drawn both, I think. So I'm expecting a very tough game. But obviously, it's going into the unknown a bit with you guys because you've got so many new signings. There's a lot of buzz and excitement about the place. So it's going to be tough. It's going to be a tough game.
Yeah. I mean, we're sitting here at the moment, and we don't really know kind of what our lineup is going to be. We brought in so many new players, and we definitely needed to improve our defence because our defence just leaked goals. There's only 3 teams who conceded more goals than us last season. And they were the 3 that got relegated. So we definitely need to improve our defence. And we've definitely done that. Will they all start? I don't know. But then there's question about who's going to be in midfield, who's going to be in attack. There's a lot of talent in there. There is, but we understand that it may take a little time for it to gel as well. And I do see it being a very tight game against Villa. I mean, if I had to predict it, I'm going to say that it's probably going to end a draw. But it could go either way. I mean, we could hit the ground running, or we could have an absolute mare. It's more of an unknown than it usually is with us because we usually never know what to expect on the first game of the season, but we've never been in a position where we've had the possibility where we could see 3, 4, 5, or maybe even 6 new signings in that starting lineup. We've never been in that position before, so we have no idea what to expect on Saturday. But I've been excited, and a lot of West Ham fans have been very excited about our signings, and we are hopeful for the season. But obviously, you've got a Champions League campaign. Obviously, you didn't. You mentioned earlier about going out against Olympiacos, who I thought were absolutely brilliant in that competition, winning up to win. And I know that West Ham fans we all took the mick a little bit at the time, and I think it's just all a bit of banter, isn't it? At the time, but I mean, you just look at that Olympiacos side; they were different class, especially because we played them in the Europa League. We played them in the Europa League group stages, and they gave us a decent game both times. But so after seeing a lot of Olympiacos fans comments like they changed their manager and they completely changed the way they were playing, and they improved massively. And I think you saw that obviously in your 2 games where that I think that was a shock to everyone because I think everyone kind of expected Aston Villa to do a little bit more, but it doesn't really matter. You're in the Champions League this year, which is huge, isn't it? I mean, how many years it's been since you've been in that top competition? I don't know, but I mean, that must be really exciting, especially with the new format. It's going to be very different this year. So
Yeah, it's amazing.
yeah,
It's a great time to get in there for me. I mean, we're going to have 8 games guaranteed, 4 at Villa Park under the lights. That Champions League anthem. It still doesn't feel real. I still look at that patch on my sleeve,
yeah.
and I think you'll find 99% of Villa fans went to the store to get that patch printed on the sleeve because it's something we haven't seen before. And
Well,
I'm
it's better
sure
than
you.
our bloody. It's better than our bloody patch.
Yeah, we've got one on the other side as well, unfortunately. But yeah, I think clubs like ourselves, like West Ham fans, we probably all dream of getting in there and to actually do it. It's
Yeah,
an unbelievable achievement. I think probably underrated a little bit. I don't think we get spoken about too much in the mainstream, but it was one hell of an achievement to finish above some of the sides we finished above. And to go and do it again this year would be, again, one hell of an achievement, but it's going to be difficult. I mean, if we can get back into Europe again this year and maybe
yeah.
get into creep into those knockout rounds, that'd be a good season for me.
Yeah, no, I feel it was. I mean, obviously, it is an increased number of games, as you mentioned. Usually, 6 group games, and now you guaranteed 8. But Villa, one's in the Champions League, and I think in the Europa League as well. Pretty much, it's a game every 3 or 4 days, isn't it? All the way up to like nearly Christmas, apart from the international breaks. So it's a really busy schedule. Do you feel like that your squad is has been improved to the point where they're able to handle then those amount of games? Because obviously when you're in a conference league you could probably rest some of the more experienced players in the group stages of the conference league and the Champions League. Can't really afford to do that, can you? So is it do you look at your squad and you feel like that it has improved overall since last season, bringing in more players, more squad depth?
I think we definitely have more squad depth. I don't think our best 11, I don't think we've got a better 11 than what we had last season, which you could say is slightly disappointing, but our depth is there. And that's where we fell short at the end of last season. I mean, I say fell short. We fell short in the Conference League. Obviously, we got over the line in the Premier League with a bit of help to Tottenham falling apart as well.
Yeah, that's always a shame to see that when that happens.
Yeah. But we did trickle over the line, and then we deserved to get in there 100%. Our form up until January, February was outstanding, but we did fall short with the depth. I do think it is better this season, but obviously losing Louise, it does weaken us slightly. But again, similar to you guys, it depends how these new signings settle in. I mean, we've got Ian Matson in. He could be a revelation at left back for all we know. Onana as well. I mean, Everton fans, you read some of their tweets. They're like, oh, why the hell have Villa signed Onana for 50 million? But we had the same with Leicester fans. They said about Tielemans last year. They said he was past it and he was done. But he was brilliant for us.
Yeah, no, I've seen a lot of that. I've seen it from Wolves fans in regards to Kilman, and I've seen it, a couple of other players here and there. Sometimes I kind of think, well, they may be a little bit better. Maybe they're just trying to wind you up or say. So you can't really listen to it. And opinions of fans can always, you've got to take them with a pinch of salt, because at the end of the day, these players are in the Premier League. Like they are deemed good enough to be playing there, and some people just don't like them for some reasons. And yeah, you're totally right when it comes to Tielemans and Leicester fans. So I do hope for you that Onana proves to be a fantastic signing for you. He is a very exciting talent, and he is tipped to do, and he's quite young still. He's only like 22 or 23, isn't he? So
Yeah, 23.
He's not even into what you would even consider getting close to his prime yet. So there's a lot more to come from him, and hopefully he starts rediscovering that too. What do you feel about Ross Barkley though? Because obviously he did have a really good season at Luton last year, and I think a lot of people were surprised by that, because he kind of just disappeared from the limelight, didn't he? He was around for a while, and he was jotting around here and there, and he just disappeared, and then suddenly appeared at Luton and had a fantastic season. Do you see him as a starter, or is he just more of a squad player?
I mean, the thing with Ross Barkley, it is a low risk signing. I think they paid 5 million for him. I don't think he'd be on a super high wage. Funnily enough, he was at Villa before, which a lot of people forget. He was on loan.
He was. He was.
He started unbelievably, but his form just fell off a cliff. And to be honest, Villa fans couldn't wait to see the back of him at the end of the season. But we've seen what he did at Luton. He's playing a different role now. He seems to be playing deeper, which is something I wouldn't have expected. But he seems to have really matured, grown into that role. I do think he'll be a squad player for us. I can't see him starting, but he could earn his place over time. Again, it's all yet to be seen, but I think it's a very astute, clever signing by Villa. Low risk, especially with the PCR constraints. I think it's a clever signing. Got experience as well. So I was happy to see him come through the door, definitely.
No, I feel like he could be a really good signing for you. I do 100%. I mean, if we're going to talk about transfers, I don't think we can, pass the opportunity to have a little chat about Duran. Obviously, a lot of talk about him possibly leaving, him doing the irons on a live and stuff like that. The two clubs not being able to agree a fee. How's it been from your side of it? Because obviously, I mean, I know it from the West Ham side. I don't really see it much from the Aston Villa side. I mean, how do you feel about the player himself? I can't say that I know a huge amount about him, and what I've watched of him, I think he looks really good. He's got a good shot on him, but I'm hearing a lot about attitude problems and discipline problems and things like that. But yeah, how's it kind of been like with this whole Duran situation for you on the Villa side?
I think you'll find there's I could sit here and talk all day. We could sit and talk all day about John Duran. I mean, the tales about him is just never ending. And he seems to always want to be the main man, be in the spotlight. But there is definitely huge potential in there. And I think you'll find the Villa fans are split 50-50. I mean, it started in January, really. He started kind of flirting with Chelsea in January. You could look through his liked tweets, and everything was Chelsea in there. He embraced with Pochettino after our FA Cup third round game, I think, as well. And it was just all a bit strange. I think he's got the wrong people in his ear. He's in a great place. He's got a great manager. He just needs to get his head down and play his football. I think he'd have played more if his attitude was better last season. And there is such huge potential in there, which is why I think Villa turned down that. It was seen as it was a good offer from West Ham, a really good offer. And to be honest, you sit there thinking, he could go to West Ham and really tear it up, and then maybe he might move on for double the money, and we'll be sitting there thinking, what have we done? But that's why I think Villa were playing hardball and were holding out for that 40 million. But there is definitely huge potential there. And the Hammers thing, for me, I don't like it. He disrespected the club. We're yet to get an apology. If he can start scoring some goals, scoring the win on Saturday will go some way to apologising. But
that'll be very, very typical if that happened. It really would.
To be honest, I was glad he didn't join you, because he would have been certain to score against us 1,000,000%. Well, he'd have scored on his debut.
This is still a theory going among West Ham fans that Duran will end up signing for West Ham United, and suddenly Villa's price for him will go down after Saturday's game because he won't be playing against them in his first game. That is a popular theory. Whether that happened or not, I'm not sure. We need to let some players go.
And I don't know if you know, but he's reportedly been given the number 9 shirt now as well.
Yeah, so I heard that.
I think it's just someone that needs his ego stroked a little bit and being told how good he is. So it's yet to be seen. I'm hopeful for him. I mean, after seeing what he did, I didn't like it around January. Like I say, all the Chelsea stuff for me, I'd seen enough. But he should be thankful for where he is and the standard he's playing at already. But again, if he can start scoring some goals, then all is forgiven.
Yeah, no, I'm sure. I think that's belongs to these players. They perform on the pitch, and they please the fans. A lot of us tend to forget some of the off-field antics. We've had it in the past. We've had players in the past that have had bad attitude problems, done things off the pitch that questionable. Nothing terrible, but you know what I mean. I mean, Kurt Zuma, for example.
Yeah, of course.
Something happened off the pitch, and we'll support the guy, and then we'll take the piss and we'll sing songs about it. And it's just the West Ham way of dealing with things. But yeah, belongs to these players kind of perform on the pitch, and it'd be interesting to see how he does. But we didn't end up going for him. We ended up going for Fulkirk, who a bit of an age difference. Going from a 20-year-old to a 31-year-old, but is a very good German striker and has scored goals. He kind of had a little bit of an injury hit career near the beginning, which is why a lot of people kind of haven't heard of a huge amount about him, because his career kind of stalled at some point. But no, he could be an interesting choice for us instead. But no, I'm really hoping that Duran doesn't start and stays on the bench. And
Yeah.
And it doesn't come back to bite us.
I tell you what, the man that will still score for you on Saturday, talk about Fulcrum, it'd probably be Antonio again. I think he's the one that always scores against us. Or if you've still got Fornals, I remember him scoring against us numerous times as well.
No,
He's gone now.
Fornals left in January. He went Real Betis.
Oh, I'm glad to see the back of him then, because I just remember him scored against us a few times.
Yeah, no, I always remember that Fornals loved to go against Villa.
Yeah.
But no. He moved on, unfortunately, and we love Fornals. I mean, he was just such a likable. He was a great little player, but he was just such a likable guy as well. He was a proper fan favourite. So a lot of us were really gutted when he left, even though that he wasn't seeing a lot of football. It was still a little bit gutting that they left. But no, I mean, how do you kind of like see Villa lining up on Saturday? Are you going to see many of the new signings in the side, or is it going to be a very similar side to what we saw? I mean, obviously there will be some changes, but yeah, how do you kind of see yourselves lining up?
I think it'll be relatively similar to last season. I say how we ended last season. We ended last season with a lot of injuries, so it will be a bit different. But in terms of the new signings, I think we'll only see Onana starting on Saturday. I think we'll still see Luka Dean start at left back. I think Matson will be eased in. He'll have to earn his spot. Luka Dean was fantastic last season as well. So I think going away, it's going to be hostile. It's going to be a big atmosphere at West Ham. There's a lot of excitement. I think we're going to go with tried and trusted. I think we'll go with that. So that back four of the Cash, Konsa, Pau Torres, Dean at left back. Then we'll see that midfield of Tillemans and Onana, who'll come in, our new signing. McGinn will be in there. There'll be a case of whether it be McGinn playing off that left or Rodgers or vice versa. But I expect both of them to start, and then Bailey on the right and Watkins up top. That's what I expect to see anyway.
Yeah, well, it'll be interesting. Obviously, Watkins did have some impacts in the Euros, which was absolutely fantastic. I mean, that winner in that semi-final, what an absolute brilliant moment for the kid. He's absolutely brilliant, and he did have an absolutely fantastic season last season as well. So yeah, I'm jealous of other strikers, of other team strikers. I always am, because we've had a shocking record when it comes to strikers over the years, and we're kind of hoping that this Fulcrum guy can kind of break that curse, because our only good strikers tend to come from the wings, especially when you talk about players like Antonio and like Bowen. But no, it's interesting. It's interesting though that you kind of like. I think when you bring in certain signings to improve the squad and some to improve the first team, working, slowly introducing them into the team kind of makes sense. We're in a very different position where we've brought a lot of players in who you'd look at and you think, yeah, they're starters now. So I can see us having a drastically different lineup to what we had last season. I mean, the whole back line I can see completely changing. I can see Aaron Wan-Bissaka starting. I mean, Sofal may start, but I could see Aaron Wan-Bissaka starting with new signings Tabido and Kilman in the middle. We'll have that new guy Rodriguez probably as a defensive midfielder, as there's no Alvarez. And yeah, the attack may stay the same. We may see Fulcrum, but I wouldn't be surprised if Antonio starts. I really wouldn't. And then maybe Fulcrum is the one that kind of gets introduced slowly. So yeah, there's definitely a lot of change this season. But what I mean, we touched on it earlier about your you want to get back into Europe, you want to try and get out of the league stage of the Champions League. What would you say your expectations are? Do you reckon all that is very much achievable? Obviously, you don't know who you're going to be playing in the Champions League, and it's such a weird format this year as well, which I don't know if it's going to make it harder to get out of that stage or not. I don't know, but you could potentially have 10 games, couldn't you? I think if you finish in a certain part, and that is a lot. There's a lot of games to play this season, isn't there? Especially so. If you take into account all those games you're going to have to play, how do you reckon this squad will handle it? Do you reckon? And Nuno as well, because it is he has got a lot of experience, but obviously not this many games.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we have the experience of last season with the Conference League. It's a completely different standard of level now, but we dealt with it really well last season. Obviously, we fell short at the end in the Conference League, but our Thursday to Sunday record was really good. We used to come back on the Sunday and win more times than not. So we were successful with it last year. But like I say, it's going to be different this season in the Champions League. Every game is going to be played at 100%. We're probably playing some games in the group stage at 40, 50% at best. Whereas in the Champions League, it's going to be probably the biggest game of some of those players' lives when we're going into it, depending on who we play. But looking at the format, I mean, if you look at the pots, there's plenty of winnable games in there outside of pot one. There's plenty of winnable games in there. So you look at the top section goes through automatically, and then there's like I'm not sure how many, but they go into a playoff round, and then the next just get knocked out completely. So if we can make that playoff round, maybe sneak into that round of 16, that'd be a dream, really. I'd be over the moon with that. In terms of the domestic campaign, if we could achieve Europe again, same as yourselves, you're going to be chasing Europe. If we get back into obviously Champions League again, it's going to be the target. But we know how difficult that is in the competition, and we all want to lift the trophy. You know, you guys lifted the Conference League. We want to lift the Conference League. We want to get our hands on some silverware. That's the next aim for me. Let's get our hands on a trophy, whether that's the League Cup, the FA Cup, whatever it is. Just bring me some silverware to Villa Park.
No, I always said last season that I was a little bit torn when it comes to Villa in the Conference League. I kind of, on one hand, I kind of wanted us to be the only English team to have won it so far, but at the same time, knowing how long Villa fans had been, you know, without lifting a major trophy, knowing that feeling of how it felt when that happened and that whole experience, you want other fans to experience that as well. So yeah, there was a part of me that was really kind of hoping that you guys would be experiencing, but at the same time, it was just like, we still want to be the only ones who won the Conference League, you know, for the banner statements. But no, it would have been amazing, and yeah, I'll be watching and supporting Villa in the Champions League this year, and I hope, because I absolutely love the Champions League. But I mean, what do you think of the league in general? Because I feel like it's going to be an interesting one, because you've got something like Liverpool haven't really strengthened at all, so I'm not really sure how they're going to do. You've got Tottenham, who have brought in, you know, Solanke, Archie Gray, a couple of players here. Manchester United have improved their squad as well. Newcastle got no European football. If they can keep their whole squad fit, then they could have a really good season. Brighton are doing a little bit of business here or there. I mean, I've seen so many different Premier League predictions. So I look at it and I'm like, no one really knows how to go. I mean, I think you could predict the top two, and then everything underneath could go any way. Like you probably could say it's going to be Man City or Arsenal, or Arsenal Man City, and then it's a free for all underneath. That you could see like a team like Newcastle get as high as third, or you know, us get as high as somewhere like fifth or something, and another team drop down. I reckon it's going to be extremely tight. How do you look at it and feel like with the amount of competition, because every team is improving, isn't it? It's going to be a difficult season.
Yeah, I mean, it's fierce. The competition is absolutely fierce, just like last season. It just seems to get harder every year. I mean, I was asked the question earlier, where do you think Villa will finish this year? And to be honest, we could finish third and it wouldn't surprise me, or we could finish 8th or 9th and it wouldn't surprise me. I think like anything is on the cards. I think so many of those sides, like yourself, you guys could go on and have a fantastic season if those new signings gel. Lopetegui gets it right. You guys could fly, but it could also, you know, peter out into mid-table, couldn't it? It's just
could they?
Right? Like Newcastle, how will they come back? Man United, Chelsea, so many teams. We're just not sure what we'll see from them.
Yeah, I mean, I did a Premier League prediction, and I think I remember doing it last year, and I thought, no, this is easy. This is kind of how we're going to go. And it turned out not to be so easy, because I got so much wrong. And I was looking at this season, and the amount of times I changed it around, because I'd be putting teams somewhere like, no, they're not actually going to finish that high, and then no, they're not going to finish that low. And then I was trying to think, well, they've got a lot going on. They haven't got a lot going on, so I just no idea how this Premier League season is going to go. And yeah, you could have teams that are going to really, really surprise, and you could have teams that are going to massively disappoint. Like Manchester United had a really kind of poor season in the Premier League, goes and wins an FA Cup, and you know, Arsenal looked so strong for so long, and they were, you know, really, really hard to beat, except against certain teams in claret and blue.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. It was great to go and score their part. I must say that afternoon at the Emirates was unbelievable, to be honest. Yeah, it was probably one of the best games I've ever been to.
You get to many away games then?
Yeah, I try to go. I mean, I go to pretty much everything in terms of the league games. Pretty much everything. Yeah. So
Are
go
you
to.
there? Are you there on Saturday?
Yeah, I've got tickets to go. Yeah, something
Yeah.
might be coming up, so I'm not 100% sure whether I'll be able to make it, but I have got tickets as it stands. So yeah,
Right.
should be there. What about yourself?
Uh,
You go to any home and away as well?
well, I'm a season ticket holder, so I go to all the home games. The away games are a little bit more difficult for me, finances, family times, and things like that. But I am aiming to try and get to a few more away games this season because yeah, I don't get to too many. But no, I'm at every single home game, and I'll be there Saturday, and I'll be looking forward to it. Hopefully, seeing a lot of our new signings and seeing the interesting new style of football that we're going to play because I think a lot of West Ham fans have been. Um, I try to think of the right word. Um, I can't think of the word at the moment, but it feels because I put a line up out earlier, and a lot of people were like, "Oh God, that seems a little bit dangerous. Maybe we should try a little bit more cautious." And because David Moyes was a very cautious manager over the last few years, I think it's kind of damaged us West Ham United fans where we see a risky lineup and suddenly we're like, oh God, no, is that a little bit too risky? I think it's kind of yeah, we've been ingrained with cautiousness over the last few years, and then suddenly we've got a manager that is probably going to take a few more risks and hopefully play a little bit more exciting football, but get the results at the same time. This was what I was like really important. It's like, yeah, it'd be nice to have more exciting football, as long as it's delivering results. You know, it's also well playing this lovely football if you're not winning games. I know a lot of fans will come away saying, "Oh no, I enjoyed myself, but we lost." I'm not like that. I still want to see a win from a game. I always do. So hopefully we find that mix, and hopefully it doesn't take too long to gel. But I mean, Unai Emery has got a bit of playing some great stuff. Very solid defensively, very exciting going forward, and you did have quite a few really big results. I mean, obviously at Villa Park, you were so hard to beat. I think you had lost two or three games at Villa Park last season, didn't you? Not too many. So do you reckon that's going to be the? Do you reckon it's going to be the fortress like it was last season again?
Yeah, yeah. I'm hoping so. Obviously, your home form is so crucial in the Premier League because every away game from top to bottom is so tough as well. So you have to
Mm.
really rely on solid home form. And up until around Christmas time, we were flawless at home. I think we've won pretty much every game. I think we won a club record of around 15 games at home in a row. It was unbelievable. I mean, some of the stuff I've seen since watching Villa, obviously we got relegated on 17 points. You have to pinch yourself at times to think I'm actually watching Villa at the moment. Like, this is unbelievable. It's like rolling back the years of the 80s or whenever.
Mm.
And yeah, Unai Emery has just worked miracles. I can't speak highly enough of the man, to be honest. And the similarities there for you guys with Lopetegui. Obviously, he was over at one of our neighbours in Wolves, and he turned that ship around. They looked like they were going down, and he turned them
Yeah.
around big time. The only gripe I'd have with him is he walked away from it. I do think Gary O'Neill kind of showed him up a little bit because he seemed to not have faith in that Wolves squad. But Gary O'Neill did get a tune out of them, where Lopetegui.
Yeah. I've heard a lot of mixed stories exactly what went on at Wolves. Some say that he just didn't like it and decided to walk away. Some say that he was promised that he would be backed and Wolves kept on backing out, and so they just decided to, you know, part ways. But I don't really know what's happened. But him walking away because he hasn't been backed, well, we definitely can't say that. We've made,
Oh, yeah, definitely,
we've backed it. We've
yeah.
backed him, and now it's down to him to really show what he can do. Yeah. A lot of people saying the pressure is on. Pressure's always been on. Pressure has
Yeah,
always been on. Replacing
brilliant.
David Moyes after what he'd achieved, and you know there was a lot of fan bases. There was a lot of media who were questioning. You know, be careful what you wish for. God, we got bored of hearing that, and so yeah, there is some pressure on obviously Lopetegui uh, to build. But I feel like the window that we've had, the players that we've brought in, he's been given the tools to do the job, and now it's going to be interesting to see if he can actually deliver. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting season for us, and I'm really looking forward to it. And yeah, I think the London Stadium is going to be really bouncing at the weekend. I think a lot of fans are, as I say, really looking forward to it. and really excited about the season ahead. And yeah, it'll be I reckon it is going to be a close game. So if you predictions, what would be your prediction for the game? Do you reckon you're going to come in, nick a win finally at the London Stadium, or go away disappointed, or points to be shared?
I mean, it's got to come at some point, hasn't it? But if I'm being honest, I'd be happy to take a point. We've got Arsenal the following week at Villa Park, so it's a tough start for us.
Yeah.
So I'd be happy to take a point, and I think we'll see goals though, because I think with your new signings coming in, I think you'll be trying to find that balance at the back. Centre back partnership might not have, probably hasn't played together before, so
No.
So I could see a couple of goals. I could see a 2-2. I think I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw. I think that'd be my prediction.
Yeah, I was kind of sitting in the same place. I feel like I don't feel like we're going to lose the game, but I think it's a little bit soon to say that we're definitely going to win it. You're right, though. I do think there's going to be goals, and I think there'll be goals at both ends because we've got a lot of talent going forward. We've got a lot of pace. We've got a lot of goal scorers. So I definitely feel like we will score some goals, but at the same time, we are going to make mistakes. We've seen a lot of mistakes in our pre-season. And yeah, we haven't had the greats, but you guys haven't had the greatest pre-season either, have you? I've been following yourself, obviously, and you talking about them. But I think we're very similar in that, where we've both stayed positive despite the pre-season. So it's just pre-season; it doesn't matter. It's not we don't wait. We wait until the proper games begin. Until games that matter. That's when you can start judging. But yeah, how have you felt? Is that generally kind of how you felt about your pre-season?
Yeah, I mean, there's things to take from pre-season. We haven't had a great pre-season in terms of results at all, and I think you will find a lot of Villa fans panicking about it. But I just have to revert back, like I did in one of my videos. Our pre-season under Steven Gerrard was pretty flawless, and we started the season absolutely horrendously, and we were awful under him, absolutely awful. So you can't always read into it. Last season we had a pretty good pre-season, got smashed 5-1 first day, so you can't always read into it. There's things you can take. There is some areas for concern, but you have to trust Unai. You have to trust Unai Emery, and he'll iron things out, and we'll be fine. So I'll save my judgment for a few games into the season.
Yeah, that tends to be my opinion on it as well. One thing I always use when talking about pre-season is Avram Grant, which was back when we got relegated in the 2010-2011 season. We didn't lose a pre-season game. We won 5 and we drew 1, and then we went on to finish bottom of the league with our lowest ever points total. So absolutely means bugger all pre-season for me. Absolutely bugger all.
Come Saturday, no one will be talking about we were poor in pre-season. Everyone will forget about that. So yeah, it's not really too important.
I mean, one thing I think I'm always interested to know what other fan bases can be like, because the West Ham fan base can jump to conclusions occasionally. We can often always look at the negative and things. And things like that. There was a period of the transfer window where a lot of West Ham fans were getting very annoyed that we weren't making any signings. To which I would say, just be patient. Let's wait and see what happens. And then suddenly we go and sign 4 players in 10 days or something like that. Completely mental. But is the Villa fan base a little bit the same, or has the last season kind of made them feel a bit bad? Because we have had obviously similar, where we've both been in the Championship in the past. I mean, you were back there 2016. You went down, I believe, didn't you?
Yeah,
I think it took you a few
three seasons.
Three seasons, yeah. We've been down there twice. We've spent 3 seasons in the Championship since I've been supporting as well, just in 2 separate things, 2 separate stages.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, we've both experienced that kind of heartbreak of that relegation, and we've both also experienced the joy of being able to come back and then suddenly enjoying European football. I mean, we had it 3 seasons in a row. You're going into your second season in a row, and do you see Villa kind of really trying to build on something now? Because I think that's what we're aiming for. We're aiming to build on something and push to the next level. Can you see Villa really kind of pushing on and trying to keep this up?
Yeah, obviously, definitely. I do. I do think under Unai Emery, I think the sky's the limit. There's just we've seen what he's done with other teams, what he's done with us. I mean, it's just night and day from what we were seeing under Steven Gerrard. He come round, it's almost like he flicked a switch, and these players that were massively underperforming, he's pretty much improved every player since he's walked through the door. So there's no reason to doubt him. There's no reason to underestimate him. For me, I'd probably say he's the second best manager in the league, and we're so blessed to have him. And I think he could take us anywhere. I really do. And I think it's unfortunate these PSR things hold us back a little bit because the money's there to be spent. That's frustrating. So it's going to take a little bit longer than probably what we'd hope. But if we can sustain Europe, sustain that. Some Villa fans, again, likewise, you'll have fans like this. I mean, they're so reactive sometimes, and they'll see like maybe finishing 7th this year as a failure. For me, I'd be happy to just stay in Europe. I love the Conference League. I'd love another crack at that one year. I can't lie. Europa League. I'd love a crack at these competitions. It was brilliant. It was nice to go into games thinking, "Oh, we could win this. Like we're the favourite. We could go and win this." We know we're not going to do it in the Champions League, but it's still a fantastic experience. But
I think what I've always said is I would absolutely love to experience the Champions League. But if you gave me a choice between participating in the Champions League or the Europa League, or the Europa League or Conference League, I'll be like, yeah, no, give me the Europa, because I can look at the Europa League or the Conference League and say we've got a chance. We've got a chance of doing something in those competitions. Realistically, we don't have any chance of ever winning the Champions League. And I love that the European football, the European nights, that excitement each game. The two legs really kind of suited us over the last few seasons as well. Obviously, we had heartbreak against Bayer Leverkusen. Just had an incredible season last season. Luckiest team in the world. I was actually kind of grinning a little bit when they lost that final against Atalanta. Just a little bit, because they were just so jammy. They were so jammy. So they won their first game with 2 late goals, and they got an equaliser in like the last minute. So it's so jammy they are. But no, European football is absolutely amazing, and when you unless you're a supporter of one of these big 6 clubs that's in it all the time, I don't think they really appreciate how much it kind of means to us fans seeing our team compete in these competitions where we haven't been able to see them compete in them for never in my lifetime before, and maybe not so much in yours either. So I think it's really great. And it's really enjoyable. Yes, it'd be great to experience the Champions League, but now give me Europa League or Conference League. I'll happily take it. Bit more European football, maybe a chance at another trophy. Love it.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, obviously the excitement of we're yet to see the draw, but if Real Madrid come rocking up to Birmingham, it's going to be one hell of a night, and that's what I'm hoping for. It's just an amazing experience. I mean, I really wanted to sample it like last season. It was I think everyone at the club. I mean, the financial gain, the global exposure. For me, it was the main goal to get in that Champions League. But now we'll have that year of doing it. I do want to get our hands on some silverware, but I'm really excited for what we're to see this season, and who might rock up at Villa Park, or where we could be going on a European adventure. It's going to be incredible. I can't wait for that draw. That's when it'll probably sink in.
I hope for you that you have a couple of great experiences. I mean, just look at Newcastle last season. They got visit AC Milan, Dortmund, PSG. Some massive teams there go to St James's Park, and I was really rooting for them last season in the Champions League as well. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them, unfortunately. But
I think clubs like ourselves, we all kind of maybe have a similar kind of ilk at the moment. We should all kind of want each other to do quite well and kind of break into that big 6. I mean, some of those big 6 aren't even to be seen in the big 6. I don't know why they get referred to it as the big 6, but I'd like to see like clubs like yourself or Newcastle or break that mold and just smash the door down and get in there, because we can do it. And we're massive clubs in our own right as well, and we belong to be there. So hopefully long may it continue.
Yeah, no, most definitely, and I really hope that again this season we see someone who is not usually in that top four break again, be in that top four, whether it is yourselves again or maybe us. I mean, I definitely don't expect that. I expect a European charge. I
Yeah,
hope that we get European football. Top four just beyond us. But then you look at some of the other teams and you're not sure. You don't know how Man United are going to do. Chelsea are just. I just don't know what goes on with Chelsea anymore. I
yeah.
just give up.
Don't
I
know.
really give up. Say Liverpool haven't really strengthened. Are they going to be the same? They've got a new manager as well. So yeah, it could be a very uncertain season, and there's definitely opportunities for another team or another couple of teams to really push for those Champions League spots at least, and it's definitely the European spots. So I think it's going to be a very exciting season, very unpredictable season, and a season where pretty much anyone could probably beat anyone. I would say.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that's the beauty of the Premier League. That's why it's the best league in the world, because anyone can beat anyone.
Yeah.
That's the beauty of it. Can't wait for it to all start again. We do it
No.
all again on Saturday. It's come round so quick.
Yeah, I enjoyed the Euros, but as soon as that ended, it was like, no, I'm done.
Yeah,
Bring
yeah.
me back Premier League football.
I tried to watch the Olympics, but I was like, no, just get me the football back now.
Yeah, I like the Friday or the Saturday. I love going to the ground. I love with your
Oh yeah,
mates watching the football. It's absolutely brilliant. I've been doing
yeah,
it for years, and no, there's nothing quite like it. Definitely
yeah.
isn't. Anyway, right. Well, thank you very much for coming on. Really appreciate it, Joe. It's been great chatting with you. I'm sure there'll be we've got another game coming up later on in the season, so maybe we'll come back on. We can catch up and compare how our seasons have gone from this chat to that chat then.
Yeah, definitely.
Hopefully.
No, thanks for having me on. It's been really good to chat and get an insight from you guys as well, because you're probably one of the biggest talking points at the moment with your new signings and stuff. So it's good to get some insight on what's going on at West Ham. And yeah, can't wait for the game Saturday. I'm sure it'll be a good game between two good sides. And like I say, we'll hopefully catch up second half of the season, see where we're at.
Yeah, no, that'll be great. So yeah, well, thank you very much for joining me. That's very nice. Got to find a Palace fan for next week now. I think I've got one. I think I've got one. I think it's like Mad Palace or something like that.
Oh,
I think
yeah.
there's a couple of fans. What I'm trying to do is try and find people that I follow on TikTok to come on
Yeah.
here, because that's where I've kind of been, and I feel that's good, which is why contacted yourself. I think there's a couple of Aston Villa fans as well that I've seen, but no, I really like your content, and I think you're doing an absolutely fantastic job. So yeah, I wish Aston Villa luck for the season after Saturday's game. I hope you do really well.
Yeah, likewise.
And if you can keep John Duran on the bench for the whole game, I'd really appreciate it as well.
Yeah. As long as you keep Antonio on so he stops scoring against us as well. Hopefully no more handballs. I mean, how many handballs were in that game last year? Do you remember that VAR controversy at the game?
God,
hopefully like that. I don't think my heart rate can take that anymore. So
it went on for ages, didn't it? I think that was the game where it went on for like 6 minutes, didn't it?
Yeah, right at the end of the game, wasn't it? God knows what was going on. There was, I think, you had two goals.
Yeah, we had two goals disallowed for handball, and I think when I looked at one, I thought one was understandable, and the other one was maybe a little bit harsh. But I hate the handball rule. I hate it's so unclear, isn't it? I think
I loved it on the day, but
yeah, but you're gonna have VAR decisions go against you this season. Hopefully it'll be hopefully we won't get delays like that when it comes to offsides. They're bringing in the automated offsides. So we'll see how VAR goes this season. We'll see how it goes. Anyway, okay. So yeah, thank you very much for joining me. Have a good game on Saturday. Have a good season, and that is it for tonight. Thank you for everyone who's joined in. And yes, I will be back next Thursday, probably a little bit earlier with a Crystal Palace fan to talk about that game, and there'll be match previews, match reviews, and match vlogs coming out on this page as well. So thank you very much, Joe. Really appreciate it, and have a good night all. Cheers.